بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه كما يحب ربنا ويرضى. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الناصح الأمين. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد. يا عباد الله، الحمد لله على نعمة الإسلام والسنة. All praise and thanks belong to Allah for guiding us to Islam and for guiding us to the Sunnah. Alhamdulillah hamdan hamda. We have a complete guidance in the deen of Al-Islam, a guidance that gives us guidelines and directions on what to do in times of ease, and guidance which gives us guidelines and directions of what to do in times of hardship. And for the believer, all of these times are good, because in times of ease we show thanks unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is better for us. And in times of difficulty, then we exhibit patience, and patience is better for us. Ya ibadullah, it is incumbent in light of recent events that we look at everything and we apply the Islamic guidance as relates to it. So our view, our world view, our perspective and outlook on any type of pandemic, any type of epidemic, so on and so forth, that it will be in light of the deen of Al-Islam. And it is incumbent that we know and that we understand, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in His noble book, إِنَّ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَاهُ بِقَدَرٍ, and that verily everything we created it with qadar. Everything is by the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ كَانَ وَمَا لَمْ يَشَأْ لَمْ يَكُنْ. Whatever Allah wills is, and whatever He does not will that it will not happen, it is not. Whatever it is meant for you that it will reach you, then it will reach you even if you run away from it. And whatever is not written for you, it will never reach you even if you chase it. And it is incumbent as believers we understand this reality. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His noble book, He says, مَا أَصَابَ مِن مُصِيبَةٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, that there is no calamity that will strike you except that it is by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمِن يُؤْمِن, and for the one who believes, billah, the one who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the one who believes in Allah, who truly believes in Allah, who has firm and strong iman, firm and strong faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yahdi qalbah, that Allah will guide his heart. Allah will guide their heart. It is incumbent, and we have to know that that which will be our main source of stability in any and every situation, that it will be iman. It will be the belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will be the strong belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the belief in the day of judgment, the belief in the angels, the belief in the messengers, the belief in the books, the belief in qadar, khayrihi wa sharrih, the good and the bad of qadar, the belief that we are going to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and thus this world is temporal. None of us are meant to be here and to remain here forever, but rather this is just a temporary station that will bring us to our hereafter, and based on what we do here, then we'll see what will be our final abode, whether it be the Jannah or whether it be Jahannam. Ya ibadullah, it is incumbent and it is a must when it comes to this situation of the coronavirus or any other virus and the like that may happen, any other type of pandemic or any type of plague that may strike the earth, so on and so forth, that we constantly remember the likes of these things, and that we apply the Islamic guidance as relates to it, and that we apply the Islamic guidance, and we will find that we will be protected from much of what others, they do not find this type of protection. It is incumbent that we chase after that which will benefit us. And this is something that the Prophet ﷺ, he commanded us to do. احرص على ما ينفعك. Be diligent in chasing after that which benefits you. Be diligent in pursuing that which benefits you. And this is in every aspect of our lives. This is not something that is restricted just to the deen and in hopes and pursuits that are connected to the hereafter, but rather these are things that are related even to our dunya, that we chase after that which will benefit us, that we strive to seek after those things which are beneficial unto us. This is a must, that as Muslims we apply the like of this guidance. And when you really look and you see the guidance in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with, this will only help to increase your appreciation and increase your thankfulness and gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and that which He has sent down to mankind. When it comes to taking of the medicine, ya ibadallah, it is incumbent that we understand taking of the medicine is something that we are obliged to do. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he commanded us to take medicine. We take medicine because as believers it is upon us to take the means, to take the asbab. This is what it means, yani akhd bil asbab, to take on to the means by way in which a person, he will pursue that which he is pursuing. We have to take the means. So when it comes to any type of sickness, then we know that the cure is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The tawfiq is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But with that, we still have to take the means. We have to take the means and taking the medicine once the calamity it strikes. So this will be the tib al-ilaji, the medicine as relates to treating an ailment that has already struck us. And we have been commanded to do that and to take the medicine. So it is incumbent that we look at the generality of our health, and if we are suffering from any type of ailments, any type of conditions, that we take the medicine that is beneficial for that condition, that we take the medicine that will help as relates to that condition. We have to be of those who take concern of our physical health, just like we have to be of those who have a concern for our mental health, just like we have to be of those who have a concern for our spiritual health. So we have to take the medicine. And likewise, we have to take the medicine of tib al-wiqa'i. We have to take the preventative medicine. Now, it is from wisdom, it is from the commands of the deen of al-Islam that we take preventative measures as relates to the likes of sicknesses and the like. So you find that in the deen, we have guidance that comes centuries before any type of world agency that is dealing particularly with health and the likes of these things, centuries before they had any clue or inclination that these things even exist. We have been given guidance from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He has conveyed unto us the guidance that has come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as relates to the likes of these things. So the whole concept of quarantine, the whole concept that diseases could be spread one person to another person and that they are infectious and go from person to person, this concept was taught to us by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And thus as it comes in the hadith an Sa'd radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال إذا سمعتم بالطاعون بالأرض فلا تدخلوها وإذا وقع بالأرض وأنتم بها فلا تخرجوا منها حديث متفق عليه. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in this, what means, if you hear about a plague taking place in a land, if you hear about a plague has broken out in a particular land, then do not enter into that land. And if the plague strikes the land that you are in, then do not leave from it. Do not enter into it so that you do not expose yourself unnecessarily to harm. And do not leave from it so that you do not expose others to potential harm. It is incumbent and it is a must that we understand this. So when it comes to the likes of this virus, and we know that the incubation period is quite substantial, when it comes to the first types of symptoms that a person they may see, then in the application of the likes of this narration, then we are to stay away from those who we have a fear of infecting. We are to stay away from those who we have a fear of infecting. And if it happens to infect us and we are definitely infected by it, then we are to not harm others with it, so on and so forth. Likewise, if we hear about it striking a particular place, then it's not for us to enter into it, so as to not to expose ourselves to any type of potential harm. If we utilize the likes of this narration if we utilize the likes of the guidance in which has come to us, then we will see much success bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. If we utilize the likes of the guidance that has come to us, then we will see success in every aspect of our lives, in every situation from our lives, that which will benefit us here in this world, that which will benefit us in the hereafter, that which it will be a benefit to mankind if applied. هذا أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المسلمين فاستغفروا فإنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. يا عباد الله, when dealing with the thought that is waqa'i, when dealing with the medicine that is preventative, you find that there are many different things preventatively that we can take. A lot of times when people hear this, their mind automatically goes to physical things, whether it be black seed, whether it be a healthy diet, whether it be this or that herb, so on and so forth, that has medicinal properties and the like. And all of this is good, and all of this enters into that. And we have to take care as relates to that. But also from medicine, and from the greatest means by way in which an individual, they can seek cure from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is by making ruqyah upon themselves, is by begging Allah with the supplications that have been taught to us by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These are from the preventative matters. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "Ma min abd yaqulu fi as-sabah kulli yawm wa fi al-masa' kulli yawm." That there is no slave that says fi as-sabah kulli yawm wal masa' kulli yawm, that says every morning and every evening. You see the prescription, every morning and every evening. You take this twice a day. That there is not a single slave that will say every morning and every evening, Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'a ismihi shay fil ard wala fis sama' wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim ثلاث مرات فيضره الشيء. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, huwa as-sadiqul masduq. The Prophet ﷺ, he is the one who is trustworthy, the one who is truthful, and the one who is trusted. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, there is no slave, male or female, that says every morning and every evening, Bismillah, in the name of Allah, الَّذِي لَا يَضُرُّ مَعَ اسْمِهِ شَيْءٍ, the one who nothing is harmed in his name, فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا فِي السَّمَاءِ, neither in the earth nor in the heavens. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ, and he is the all-hearer, the all-knower. If they say that 3 times, nothing will harm them. If they say that 3 times, nothing will harm them. This is from the ways of preventative medicine. This is from the ways of preventing harm from reaching an individual. To beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every morning and every evening with this dua. This is from the ways that a person will prevent corona from coming to them, or SARS from coming to them, or any type of other ailment and disease from reaching them, is to be steadfast upon the likes of this dua. This was that which help keep you healthy. This is that which you need as your daily regimen. But the question is, how many from amongst us are saying the likes of this dua? How many from amongst us are begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the likes of this supplication? How many from amongst us we are applying the Islamic guidance as relates to preventative matters, as relates to preventative medicine in the life? How many of us are applying this? See, this is the question. In the many narrations that point to this meaning, there are many narrations of that which serves as a protection for us from the shaitan, as a protection for us for our day, as a protection for us for our night. Those ad'iyah, those supplications that if we say them in the day, then it will be protection until the night. And those ad'iyah that if we say them in the night, it will be a protection until the day. Those ad'iyah that if we say them at the time of sleep, then it will be a protection until the morning, so on and so forth. How many of us are steadfast upon that? How many of us are steadfast in saying Ayatul Kursi before they go to sleep? How many of amongst us are steadfast in saying the last verses of Surah Baqarah before they go to sleep, so on and so forth, because all of these things, they are protection. How many amongst us are steadfast in saying the last 3 surahs 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening, because all of these things are a protection. If we go into the day without our protection, that's like a soldier leaving his fort without his weapons. It's like he's leaving his fort, he's leaving the citadel, he doesn't have on his armor, he doesn't have on his weapons. So now he gets struck with a bow, he gets hit with a lance, so on and so forth. He has no one to blame but himself. He didn't put on his armor. In the street we say, well, he didn't strap up. So now he get caught off guard, he has no one to blame but himself. It is incumbent, and you know shaitan is your enemy, that you take your protection, you take your weapons, and our protection from the shaitan, that it is the ad'iyah, it is the dhikr, it is the supplications, it is the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also ibad, I want you to reflect on some of the guidelines that comes from these organizations as relates to preventative factors and so on and so forth. They're telling them wash their hands. They're telling them make sure that they keep to cleanliness, so on and so forth. Yeah, subhanallah. We know cleanliness is from our religion. Cleanliness is from our deen. As far as washing the hands and so on and so forth, and sticking to cleanliness, we have encouragement in our deen to be of those who are clean and to be of those who are constantly in a state of ablution, constantly in a state of wudu. And from the wudu is that we wash our hands. From the wudu is that we wash our hands. Now, I want you to understand, you keep your intention pure. So when you make the wudu, you make the wudu ta'abbudan lillah. You make the wudu as a worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to draw near unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not because you're scared of corona or you're scared of this or you're scared of that. No. As to seek nearness unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said in authentic hadith, لا يحافظ على وضوء إلا مؤمن, that no one safeguards being in a state of ablution except the believer. Every time the believer, one of the characteristics of the true believers, that when they break wudu, they make wudu. When they break the wudu, they make the wudu. So on and so forth. If we put ourselves in the likes of this, how much good will come? Yeah, ibadallah. How many diseases they are spread due to food contamination? How many of diseases are spread because filth is mixed with the foods that we're eating, that which we're putting in our mouths, so on and so forth. We are guided from the deen of Islam. The Prophet ﷺ, when he was eating with the small boy, and the boy, he was touching all over the plate, eating all over the plate, grabbing from here, there, so on and so forth. The Prophet ﷺ didn't leave him and say, oh, he's a little kid. Oh, what little kids know, this what they do, so on and so forth. But he taught him. He educated him. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Ya ghulam, sammillah. He said, oh boy, say Bismillah. وَقُلْ بِيَمِينِكَ وَقُلْ بِيَمِينِكَ, and eat with your right hand. وَقُلْ مِمَّا يَلِيكَ, and eat from that which is in front of you. Eat from that which is in front of you. Why? So that if there's any type of spittle and from the benefits on your fingers and so on and so forth, then you don't put it inside of a part of the plate that you're not eating, that perhaps someone else, they will eat from it, and so on and so forth. These are guidance from the deen of Islam. These are common sense measures. A person may say this agrees with the aql because the truth agrees with the aql, and the aql that don't agree with the truth because the aql is sick. Now this is the reality. Ala kulli hal, we have the guidance, ya ibadullah. We eat with our right hand. When we make istinja using our left hand, so on and so forth. So what? There is no cross-contamination. Why? Because the hand that you are wiping and cleaning your bottom with, you're not putting it in your mouth. Because this is from the characteristics of the shaitan. Who wants to be like a shaitan, eating and drinking with his left hand? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, لا تأكل بالشمال فإن الشيطان يأكل بالشمال. Don't eat with your left hand because the shaitan eats with his left hand. Who want to be like shaitan, eating and drinking with their left hand? We are commanded to eat and drink with our right hand. You eat and drink with your right hand, and then what happens is that you clean yourself with your left hand. Where's the cross-contamination? Now, and then after we use the restroom and so on and so forth, the believer, what he do? He make wudu. He make wudu. You understand, ya ibadullah, that if we apply the guidance of the deen of Islam, all of these recommendations and which that they are saying, we don't need this. This is what we do anyway. This is what we do every day. And it shows you the bounty of the deen of al-Islam and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed a tremendous bounty upon us, that He has given us a way of life that is superior to everything that's on this earth, from the ways of lives and so on and so forth. Ya ibadallah, it is incumbent that we apply the likes of this guidance bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. It is incumbent that we apply the likes of this bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Likewise, it is from the sunnah that when we meet and we greet that we shake each other's hands. This is the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That which you find the people doing that goes beyond that, then this is cultural. This comes in from their culture. But as far as the sunnah is to shake the hand. The sunnah is not to hug a person every time you see them, no. Only if a person was on a journey, they came back after a long time, you didn't see them, then you hug, you embrace them, so on and so forth. But outside of that, it is what? To shake the hand. As far as the kissing on the face and the cheek and all 3 times, all this type of stuff, this is from culture. It's not from the deen of al-Islam. If you suffice yourself to the deen of al-Islam, then these guidelines that come from these kafir organizations as related to containment of a particular pathogen, so on and so forth, will we need them? No, we will not. You see? And you see the benefit that when you apply the Islam, do you see the benefit that how Allah Ta'ala puts blessings upon you and you don't even imagine it, you don't even perceive it, you don't even take notice to all of the blessings in which Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has placed upon you. This is from the blessings that an individual who follows the Qur'an, who follows the Sunnah Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who's upon the way of the Salaf of this ummah, that they receive. And this is their benefit, that they are their treasure that they have, that others are lacking. Others, they don't have access to it because they have not been guided to the likes of this. So when we reflect upon these things and reflect upon how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has safeguarded us, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has protected us, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has bestowed so much bounty upon us, this should translate in us being more thankful unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you reflect on what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma, and at the time he was also a young boy, because the likes of this is that which is not restricted to the adults, but rather we also have to teach and educate the children. The Prophet said this in Ya Ghulam, inni u'allimuka kalimat. He said, oh young boy, I'm going to teach you some words. And from the words in which he taught, he said, ihfadillah yahfadka. He said, safeguard and protect the rules and regulations that Allah has mandated upon you. Safeguard and protect that which you have supposed to be doing. Safeguard and protect that which you is wajib upon you to do, mustahab upon you to do from Allah's deen, and Allah will safeguard and protect you. So if we were to apply the Sunnah Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we were to apply the guidance of the Qur'an, you see just from this small aspect how much protection reaches us. So now maybe better we can better appreciate and better understand the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, safeguard and protect the rules and regulations of Allah, and Allah will safeguard and protect you. Just reflect on the likes of these things. Just reflect that if a person stays far away from fornication, how many of diseases, how many pathogens, how many incurable ailments they will be free from. If a person were to safeguard their private parts, only utilize them in marriage, stay away from fornication and adultery, you can make a long list of ailments you'll never have to worry about. Ya ibadullah, it is incumbent upon us to apply the deen of al-Islam. أسأل الله تعالى أن يوفقني وإياكم لما يحبه ويرضاه، وأن يجعلنا مباركا حيثما كنا، ويجعلنا ممن إذا أعطي شكر وذو بطول صبر وإذا أذنب استغفر، فإن هؤلاء الثلاث عنوان السعادة. هذا يا عباد، فأقيموا الصلاة.